This is the Almost Daily ZenCast. Hello, and Namaste. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. I am your humble host, the incorrigible Mr. Zeppo. Let's get started. Greetings and salutations, friends and listeners. Namaste to you. Thank you for tuning in. Today, a simple question, purely in the theoretical, because I don't claim to be anything other than what I am. I don't pretend to know the absolute truth. I don't pretend that I know more than anybody else. So, theoretically speaking, if the following is true, that God is us, that God in its omnipresence is not separate from us as individuals, is not separate from us as human beings, but rather it is literally being us, as described in ancient esoteric wisdom such as, the dance of Leela or the holographic matrix, which is more ancient than we realize. The very idea of matrix is deeply ancient and predates the movies. It predates computer technology. It predates most established world religions. Matrix is the root word for mother, for matter. And I've already done a whole episode about that, so check that one out. So, if God is us, pretending to be our individual identities, pretending to be you and me and our best friends and our enemies, if God is us, what the bloody hell do we need organized religion for? If God is us, what the bloody fuck do we need politics for? Theoretically speaking, if God is us, then we can conclude, in my humble opinion, that those things are not actually needed, that they are distractions inherently from the fact that God is us. And if that is so, then why do we cling to them so tightly when they have rendered nothing but problem after problem after problem? Huge question mark. And as I have other things to do and many things to achieve today, I'm going to leave it at that and leave you with a little micro episode today. Just contemplate that question, right? I'm not pretending to know as an absolute fact, although my life experience, not any particular dogma, not any particular conditioning, but my direct phenomenological experience leads me to conclude that yes, in comparison to all other theories about what is going on, I vote for God is us, and we are just distracting ourselves from that, and that is what causes our problems. So if we want to solve our problems, we should remember that fact instead of cling to the tools of distraction. And I think this is not just some ethereal and mercurial theoretical. I think it has massive, huge, practical application. And so for clarity, I will over-explain myself, right? Like I often say that politicians are puppets. And I do not mean to offend any individual politician or any of their supporters when I say that they all get hijacked. And I'm not indicating any of the typical, quote, conspiracy theories either. Personally, when I say that they all get hijacked and that they all get transformed into puppets, I am speaking esoterically, spiritually, metaphysically. In fact, I posit to you within this whole theoretical proposition that all human beings are, esoterically speaking, yin and yang. Right? We are all the light and the dark in a wrestling match. And thus, we are all always wrestling with our demons, quote unquote. And what happens is, or what has happened throughout all of this dance of illusion, this game we play, this merry-go-round meat grinder of life and death, is that we have created multiple layers of nonsense to distract ourselves with for the sake of exploring the distraction. And in those layers, we've created tools to leverage that distraction. Because we are yin and yang. We are the light and the dark. We are God and the devil. Each of us. All of us. And to that end, the dark side, knowing how the game works, has allowed us, has worked through us to create tools of power and corruption. Power corrupts. Money corrupts. And these things then reflexively, they bring out, not reversely, they reflexively bring out the darkness in anyone who is not prepared to deal with them. And they are seductive. Money and power are incredibly seductive ego traps. So, given all of that, theoretically speaking, I propose to you that that is why that we can never, quote, solve the problems that we created through politics with more politics. Evil cannot drive out evil, as has been stated before by various wise persons, right? We cannot kill someone to teach the world that killing someone is bad. The moment we do that, we seduce ourselves with our own ego trap. At least, I think, not until we wake up to the fact that we all need healing, that this wrestling match is a game, but that game causes real trauma, and that trauma is one of those things, one of those tools we use against ourselves, right? The darkness within us uses the trauma it creates in order to prevent us from realizing how to heal that trauma. But if we heal ourselves and each other, and consequently the entire human species, then we can undo the damage that we have caused to ourselves. Then we can solve the problems that we have created for ourselves. In short, as crazy as it may sound, my lifetime's worth of impartial and nonpartisan observation has led me to conclude, to the best of my ability to discern, that we do not need politics. We do not need politicians. We need healing and civic organization. We need healing and well-organized action. But always, we need healing first. As it says in the Bible, prayer without action is empty. And in my opinion, action without healing is flawed. And so I leave you with that, my friends, a theoretical proposition. If all of that is true, why do we avoid the task and the work of healing? Question mark, exclamation point, question mark, exclamation point. And that is what I've got to say about that. As always, thank you kindly for listening. This has been the Almost Daily ZenCast with your humble host, the incorrigible Mr. Zappa. Until next time, may peace, love, and grooviness blossom in your heart.